Hello again. Just to keep things consistent, I'm wearing the same shirt. Anyways, let's have a look at the different poses. I have them laid out here in as a text document, just so I remember where things are. And again, this is just for the poses. When we talk about timing, we can then think about that we can add numbers here next to the poses. So maybe it stands from frame 1 to frame 10. So it stays there, kind of idle. Then frame 11 to 16, it's 5 frames. That's how long it takes to go from the standing position to the crouched squash position. And then maybe here we have from frame 17 to 19, you could have this kind of explosive jump. Otherwise, you could stick with the 5 frame rule and put it to 22, et cetera, for the timing and the number of frames that each pose, where each pose is, and so on and so forth. You could have this hold for 10 frames. Okay, so you end up with frame 16 and frame 23 would be the same, and then so that goes to 16. Sorry, to 26, and then this would be 27 to 32 in terms of timing. But let's have a look in After Effects and see how that is done. So I went through the process of already animating some parts of it, and just so you're also aware, there is a really great video called the 12 Principles of Animation that someone had posted, which I think is really nice. And if you have a chance, and it's in here. So it's in here. This is Illusion of Life. And if you get a chance, you should have a look at this. They use a box, basic geometric shapes to talk about it, but this is really excellent in terms of the different principles of animation. It's from the Illusion of Life. Okay, so let's look at just to quickly review. So just to quickly review, let's have a look at the different parts to this character. This is compliments of Adobe for providing this character. I did not make this. But you can look at the upper arm and the lower arm, how everything's connected. So the lower arm is connected to the upper arm like this. That's how you set that up. Now the upper arm, as it rotates to the upper arm, rotates like this. And that's because I changed the anchor position. Y on the keyboard, also this on the keyboard, will allow you to move it. And that's the rotations for that. Now, when we look at the actual poses, let's have a quick look at that. The way we can look at this is to hit U on the keyboard, and you can see that I have my poses. So for, I'll go ahead and delete that upper arm keyframe that was created there. You'll see that we already have keyframes here for I'm going to do a couple things here. Have a look at the upper arm, and there it is. So we got on frame, I decided on frame 12, have my auto pose, and then frame 17 is where I have my squash, and then I have my stretch, okay, feet still on the ground, on frame 22, and then frame 25, you see down here, I'm in the air. Okay, character does a flip, and we are pretty good there. Now, if I were to go back and go ahead and just delete these keyframes, you can look at how we set up that first pose, right? So in this case, we're mostly handling rotation. And so I would have those positions selected, hit rotation there. You also need to keyframe the position of the torso as well, because we're going to record it as it goes down. So again, from 12, we have 5 frames. Frame 17, we will drop the torso. And right now the torso looks like the pivot is in the back. And so we'll need to put this down here, and we'll need to delete. I don't know why it's doing acting so weird. Position there. So there's our keyframes, and we'll need to rotate the legs forward just to create that bend. And you can see you're gonna have to eyeball a lot of this stuff. And then the torso, the rotation of the torso could be leaning forward a little bit, which means the legs will go down like that. Now, then I'll move it. I'll move the torso down, holding down Shift and the keyboard. Arrow down, we can move it 10 pixels. And so that is how we end up with this. Now, I'm not too concerned about the feet moving, just because I'm just showing you how to go from pose to pose. But if you really wanted to, you could go in and add some in-betweens, keyframes, to kind of keep the feet on the ground. So that's doing a little bit better job. So then again, second pose, looking back at our notes, we want to then have the upper arm rotate back maybe, and then the head move forward maybe, et cetera, et cetera. And just make sure that you have those keyframes where they are, and think about those as numbers. So then from here, the character is up in the air. We'd be probably at frame 22, and I would start adding those keyframes in. All right, so that's in a nutshell how we would set up the poses in After Effects after we've rigged the character, parented it, changed the anchor positions. Then we start going into the animation process. So have fun, and we'll have some more videos, so don't forget to subscribe. I hate saying that.